I assume any police assigned to schools get special training so they know how to create a safe environment and how to relate to the students and the teachers in the school. Is that true? Do they get special training how to operate in such an environment?
They certainly do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the other question is, these resolutions, do they require further action to be effective?
Negative. No.
They don't.
Action was taken in your presence here. They're
Okay,
effective right now.
I thought generally you pass resolutions and then the ordinances are passed in the next meeting.
No. Resolutions are single meeting actions, ordinances are two meeting actions. Was that your question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so I was just.
Ordinances generally transcend the life of the body that enacts them. Resolutions are generally coterminous with.
Oh, okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We go over 10 Arrowhead Road. A couple of questions on the resolutions. 265-18, authorizing the subsidy for the Morris Minute. It says for service in the year 2017. Are we doing that retroactively, or is that?
No. Once they submit, that's becoming audited of 17, so that we can issue the money.
So, okay, so this 2017 references the audit, so the same would be true for, I guess, for the Team Pride, where I guess it's 264-18, where it said we're referenced the year 2016. So anything but the year in the past, it's upon completion of the audit. So this resolution is authorizing the release of the funds based on those prior audits.
They have different dates on the audit, some are fiscal year, some are calendar year.
And regarding the resolutions for the Minutemen and Team Pride, just looking at, this is the last meeting of the year. See, the meeting, because the monies are being allocated. I'm just looking at prior history. The allocation of those funds seem to always occur much earlier in the year. Is there anything that's precipitating this happening at the final meeting of the year? Or is it just
We're
randomly
waiting
happening?
for the audits being submitted is the primary motivator, and Team Pride changed its from a calendar year to a fiscal year reporting.
And
So that's the same as last year.
And in prior years, it looked like the allocation was 37,014 Pride in 2016 and 2017.
So they were all 55,000. The Township Committee decided to move forward on 37,000 the past 2 years.
But it'll be 55,000 this year.
Yes.
Correct.
Thank you. 245-18. I guess these have to do with taxes that were returned, 245-18, 254-18, one for almost $1 million, one for 181,000. Those are just tax appeals. One is
Those were tax appeal settlements that were approved by the Township Committee at the November 7th meeting. After approval from the tax court, they're now getting a refund. One is at 350 Mount Campbell Avenue, the second one is the Commonwealth property.
Thank you. And the block of 255-18 through 257-18 with the easement for the sewer, is that simply just because we're installing sewers to those people are hooking up, and is that the only reason for it? Or?
Yep.
Thank you. And Mr. Quinn, I just have a question. If you could help explain, with all the development that's going on in town, we're bringing more housing development, how does that affect the balancing with the school district? Will the scales tip in terms of adding more taxes to township residents because of the increased development? Or is there any overview you can provide on how that formula works or how we might be impacted?
Actually, most of the townhome communities and everything else, there's a rougher study, but it's a minimal number of students that are going into school from Morris Township. Morris Township is much higher than the township funded students. But we pay a ratio. The ratio this past year was about 62% to 38% of the school district budget. Next year it's going to swing to about 64, 36.
So it's actually based on the data, I guess, out of the Rutgers study that you referenced, or it's not actually just
Now, when they come before these development plans, and they have to put it forward either as a redevelopment plan or before the planning board for a amendment to the master plan. We're looking at the proposed number of schools, and there's a study by Rutgers that is used by the professionals to determine what the impact is going to be on the schools. In most of these townhome communities, it's very small. And then we also do a survey of all of our townhomes with the school district to see how that compares with the Rutgers model. And we have found that it's about 50% of the Rutgers model we see going to the schools.
50% of what the Rutgers model estimates.
Of
So
number-
they estimate
number of
10, we
students.
see 5.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. And then my last question is, I see we're going to do the online bid for, I guess, equipment that's outlived its life, et cetera. One of those items is a 1989 leaf vacuum machine. So I wasn't here in the 80s, and maybe you could help just, for our leaf collection, did we used to vacuum the leaves? Because the process we're currently going through, I explained how we do it with the loaders and the garbage trucks, and people are like, that seems a little odd. I've never seen it in other towns. If you just give a little history on how, when that changed? Or
That works
changed?
far better than the vacuums because they don't work very well in wet or when there's a significant number of them and slows us down. But we still use a vacuum on some very narrow streets where we can't get the equipment in, or, special locations like parks and other things where we need to just get a truck in to pick up the leaves. So it's beyond its life experience, and that's why it's being auctioned off. But we still have a leaf machine that.
Oh, we do say, okay.
We still have one that's a vacuum.
Thank you. And one more question on the survey that you talked about earlier this evening. I did notice that, I don't know if this is just because this is how it's developed, there's a policy not to not go down that road, but I noticed we don't have any hybrid vehicles or any electric vehicles within the township. Is that simply just because it's cost prohibitive to install the chargers? Why would that be?
It's new questions this year that came from the state without any guidance from the municipalities.
Right.
As to what the infrastructure cost would be or other things, plus they're not on state bid, so, it might work well in an urban environment, certainly not gonna work well with our type of municipality.
Topography and stuff. Thank you very much.
Anyone else care to be heard?
Good evening, Diane Holland, 26 North Ridge Place. For perhaps the last month, the Old Glen Road has been torn up. Is that sewer replacement?
No, ma'am.
What is it?
Gas service.
Gas service, okay. Is there any reason why there have been Hanover police also providing traffic or something?
When we don't have enough available police officers to do it, we work with other municipalities to fill in for that. So it's a mutual aid that goes back and forth with contiguous municipalities for the most part. So there are times when you may see a Morris Township police officer working in Morristown, and vice versa. You may see somebody working here. We're not paying them. They're being paid through the township by the contractor. So there's no cost to
Or
them.
just Hanover seemed to be far to go for support. With the addition of two new...
Next door.
Mm.
You're going to see Parsippany, you're going to see
Okay,
Roxbury,
just Morristown or Madison seems.
Right.
And with the addition of two new police officers, does that reduce the need to share?
You're talking about orange and apples here.
Okay.
The officers that you see doing the side work, that's special work. That is, they're working on their off-duty time. They're signing up for those jobs. We're not paying them. They're not on regular duty. They're on their own time.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's,
No,
Okay.
the municipality does not bear the cost for construction. That's done by the contract, like pay BSE&G, they pay us. We turn around and pay the officer, and we get also a little bit of stipend to cover things like insurance and the vehicles and our expenses to administer the program.
thank you.
Anyone else care to be heard? Thank you, ma'am.
Elizabeth Malinsky, 23 Highland Ave. A question about resolution 27018. Since that bid was, that the low bid was denied for the reasons you guys denied it, what is the next step in getting that playground built?
Township Committee just awarded the contract to the next highest bidder.
Okay, so when will that start?
After they sign the contract.
Excellent. All right, thank you.
Anyone else care to be heard?
Good evening, Jeannie McKay, 10 Walnut Street. In reference to the Collinsville, you said the next highest bidder?
The next.
The next bidder that was behind that.
Oh, so the lowest bidder? So when, he's got to, how long will it take for them to sign the contract?
By state statute, they have 3 weeks to sign the contract.
So that should be early January?
Yes, ma'am. And then you gotta worry about the weather.
Okay. I mean, I've heard the weather situation before, but I've seen a playground, particularly in Morristown, Caldwell Playground, and they're reconstructing that now. They're installing bricks and everything, and I mean, I thought you shouldn't do it with the cold weather, but they seem to be moving ahead. So,
I have full confidence in our Parks and Recreation Director, Bill Foltz, to monitor and make sure it's done properly.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McKay. Anyone else care to be heard? Seeing no one, I'll close the public session. No, sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry.
Mark Murphy, 61 Alexander Road. Just want to come up and thank Committeeman Sizzler and Committeeman Nunn for their service to the township over their terms. You know, their story really resonates with me, having both of them grown up in Morris Township and, you know, decided to run and serve on the body that governs their hometown. It's something I really appreciate. Though, you know, obviously there's two different sides of the aisle. Here in Morris Township, I would like to see different, you know, examples of bipartisanship, and I just really appreciate the work that you both have done for your town, for your neighborhood. I just wanted to thank you for your commitment to our town and all the hours and days and weeks and months you put in of your own time, really, on your own time, away from your families and from your work for the benefit of the community. So thank you.
Jeff Brazel, 118 Head Road. I also wanted to thank Committeeman Sisler and Committeeman Nunn for their service to the community. I said last year when Mr. Caffrey departed that being on the committee is often a thankless job, but you guys were certainly committed to doing the job, and there are a lot of residents who are thankful for your service. Sometimes residents don't agree with what you decide, but there are a lot of decisions that are really hard to make up there. And you have to put the time in to make the right decision. So appreciate you doing that on behalf of the residents. And as you made the decisions, I think there's no doubt about your commitments to the community. You wouldn't be up there if you weren't committed to Morris Township, and we really appreciate that. And lastly, I know both your families go back, way back in this community for a couple generations, and they've served the community in a lot of capacities over the years through many generations, and I hope that does continue with both your families. We respect what your families have done for the community, and we hope you continue in some way volunteering or serving for your community. Thank you again very much.
Thank you.
I will now, for the third time, close the public session. Thank you. General business correspondence, the consent calendar, all received for the record, Madam Clerk. Okay, commentary by Township Committee on Township matters. John?
Thank you. I'll start off with the resolution that was pulled. Unfortunately, when some documentation is not provided with the bid process, we then, as a governing body, have to look to our township attorney for advice as to how to proceed in these types of legal matters. And although the gentleman that spoke earlier was a lower bid, due to the recommendation of our township attorney, we had to go to the next lowest bidder. With regard to the process as to when this park will start to be constructed. The word weather was mentioned. It doesn't mean that that's an excuse as to why we won't try to move this forward sooner rather than later. So if the weather cooperates, we then can move forward with constructing this park and getting it ready so that everyone in the township and in the Collinsville neighborhood can benefit from the use of this recreational facility. And I'm looking forward to having that done. It's a long time in coming, and with our Parks and Recreation Director, I'll be working very closely, as will all of us who will be serving in 2019, to make sure that that project is completed and it's completed satisfactorily. I too would like to thank committee members, Nunn and Sisler, having served, this is my 15th year of public service, and having done that for that many years, I know the dedication and the hard work that's necessary to provide this benefit to the community. And having the privilege to serve up here is an honor, and I know that you respect that, and that you did put a lot of work into serving, and it was a pleasure to work with both of you in my first year serving here in Morris Township. So thank you for the service, and good luck in whatever else it is that you're looking to do in the future. Lastly, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and healthy New Year, and looking forward to working with the new governing body in 2019 to continue to provide the quality services that the township is used to. And thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Ms. Wilson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to thank and commend our planning officials, as well as Mr. Quinn and Mr. Mills, for doing a really excellent job on the affordable housing presentation that they offered right here on November 28th. The attendance was good. The room was full. It was packed. And obviously, affordable housing is a very important issue for our community, for every town in New Jersey, and it's complicated. And we got a lot of compliments from residents on how helpful the presentation was, and also the idea, people appreciated that the township was doing outreach to help people understand an important issue in our community. And I'd like to see us do that in the future on other issues. One that is sort of percolating in my mind right now is the, perhaps we can get someone from our water authority to do an informational presentation on some of the questions that our residents have about the various things that are going on with our water system. That's to be determined, but I like that idea, and we're looking into it. And on the affordable housing presentation, for anyone who wasn't able to be there, the PowerPoint and the handout are available on the website. You have to go to land use, the land use section, and it's in there. They're very well done. I encourage you to take a look. I also wanted to just say a few words of thanks to our fire department. I've had the opportunity this year to serve on the fire standing committee. It's given me a new insight and a new appreciation for all the different things that our fire department does. They provide obviously this vital public service of fighting fires, but they also offer a huge number of community activities that serve a whole range of different purposes, educating people on fire prevention, recruitment, fundraising, and a lot of things that are just plain fun. Santa's appearance on the roof at Woodlands Firehouse on Saturday was a good example. There were a lot of little kids there and their moms and dads, and they all really enjoyed it. And I'd also like to mention my appreciation for this department's long and really fascinating history, and the work that several members in the fire department are doing to to record that history in writing and in pictures. So that's a great work. I really appreciate it. And overall, great work to the fire department. Thank you. I would also like to thank Mr. Sisler and Mr. Nunn for their service to our community. I have enjoyed working with both of them for different reasons, and I'd like to wish both of you the best, the very best in the future, and I hope we'll keep in touch. And best wishes to all for the holidays, and we'll look forward to seeing you 2 weeks from tonight at the reorganization meeting on January 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Sisler?
I'm good, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Nunn?
Thank you, John, Kathy, for your words. Thank you, Kathy Emilio, for everything that you did. Mayor Mancuso, we're on Mancuso 3, I think, right?
Not quite, working on it though.
Mr. Quinn, none of us could do this without you. I mean that. Mr. Mills, I hope that the incoming body is smart enough to keep you around, because I know what some other town attorneys charge their towns and the amount of hours that they bill, and Mr. Mills is a bargain.
I don't know how that actually sounds.
Bargain.
Restitutional knowledge.
That's right.
And expertise.
That's right. Mr. Sisler, thank you. Where's Jeff? Where's Jeff? Jeff, thank you for those words, they were very kind. Mark, you and I have spoken a bit. Good luck to you, to everyone else, and to the viewers at home. It really is an honor to serve in any public service. I happen to have grown up here my entire life, and as Jeff said, you know, my grandfather was a police officer, then a fireman. My dad was a police officer here for 43 years. My uncle was the OEM director, my cousin was the deputy chief of the fire department. I served as a prosecutor here in Morris Township and in Morris County, and as a committeeman and deputy mayor. And I wouldn't change anything about it. It was really an honor, and I can honestly say to all of you, any decisions I made were based on what I thought was in the best interest of Morris Township, and that really is it. And I think that's what everyone else here does as well. So thank you all. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Thank you, sir. Thanks. And I'd just like to add to the accolades that have been mentioned about Mr. Sisler and Mr. Nunn. They have been Mr. Nunn for 3 years and Mr. Sisler for almost 8 years. We've worked together, 9 years. And we've worked together, and I do appreciate all of their efforts and where they have helped Morris Township come. I have spent quite a bit of time with Jeff, and today with Mark. We talked about a lot of things, and I'm looking very, very forward to next year as to where we're going and to continue making Morris Township the best township in all of New Jersey. We serve the 24,000 people who live here. I give you my best wishes for a very, very happy holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and belated Happy Hanukkah. Thank you. Consideration of monthly reports as circulated. Claims for payment, $9,867,381.17. Motion to approve? Second? Roll call.
Mr. Armides?
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Sisler?
Reluctant.
Mr. Nunn?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Almost second. Pardon?
Just please call for a motion on the consent calendar.
Okay.
I don't know if we did it.
I did. I should say general consent calendar, I did, and quote.
Oh, okay, all right, so we have the vote.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.